Excellent. Now, trouser protectors at the ready, please.
Already?
Make sure they're strapped
It's
on
early.
tight, because this year, I've got to tell you, and the birders will already know this, it's a Waxwing Winter. Yes, a large number of these Scandinavian migrants have come over to the UK, and these are video clips that you very kindly sent us in from all over the country. Lots of people have been out and about enjoying these birds, I have to say. Look at them, aren't they pretty special? All birds are equal, but some birds are more equal than others, and waxwings are undoubtedly some of those. May I?
No. No, get off. I know you cannot touch my trouser legs. But so many people have seen them and so many people have been enjoying them and sending pictures in. They're so special there, so I think we should really revel in their beauty. Take another look at them. There are lots of them in the tree. If you go close, you can see they have that wonderful 1980s Chris Packham quiff.
Yep, I tried to be a waxwing throughout most of the 80s, yeah.
1980s theme, they've got the Adam Ant sort of black eyeliner. Then they've got that flash of yellow on their tails and their wings. And then they've got that splodge of red on their wings. And that's where they get their name from, because it resembles a bead of sealing wax. They're called Bohemian waxwings, which is a very fitting name for such a flamboyant bird. I'm going to show you something quite extraordinary that I got sent today in the post. I can't remember the last time I got sent one of these. It's a letter with the wax on the back. Can you believe it that I got that today as we're talking about waxwings? And that's exactly where the waxwings get their name from. I haven't even opened it yet because I wanted to show you.
That's your handwriting.
It's not my. I didn't send it to myself.
No, we've got to say that the feathers, which they're named after the waxwings, don't have waxy consistency. They are actually soft red feathers. But yeah,
yeah, going to open it later. I'll put it back in my pocket.
It was posted in 1586. Whatever it is going to be out of date. There's no question about that at all. Go on, the question is, why are they here?
Well, that is a question that was asked, actually, on Instagram. I'll tell you who by. Catherine Baxter from Cambridgeshire. And she said, why are there so many here? And we can answer that question for you.
What we've had is an eruption of these birds. They've come from Finland, Norway and Sweden in the main, or perhaps a few of those other countries as well. Now, why do they leave those countries in large numbers this year and not every year? Well, there were a number of theories. Firstly, they had a very good breeding season, therefore there were a lot more waxwings and the food would run out earlier. Secondly, that there weren't as many berries there, and thirdly, that the berries all ran out because of larger numbers of birds. It turns out that recent studies have looked at this, and it's the number of berries in those countries in the autumn. And if they reach a certain low threshold, then the birds start to move. And obviously, I've removed my glove for wrist frostbite. What they tend to do is, if they're coming from Scandinavia, which is, oh no, blue tack disaster, hold on, which is somewhere over there, they will come to northeastern Scotland to start with. And then if a few more come over, they'll move a little bit down into southern Scotland, and perhaps a few might start reaching the north of England. And by October, the BTO, British Trust for Ornithology, had estimated there could be as many as 5,000 waxwings in the UK. So that counts as a waxwing winter, an eruptive year. They continue to come, and they were moving down into the east of England. And at this point, we noticed something. The number of waxwings in Scotland started to decline and increase in England. And that's because the berries were running out in Scotland and these birds were moving down further south. And a couple of weeks ago, I can tell you that one of them, or a group of them, was even spotted in the southwest of England. So there you go.
It was quite interesting though, wasn't it? Because when we looked at the records, I mean, the whole country was covered in waxwings except for where we are in Dorset. But that all changed yesterday. One was spotted. I say one was spotted. There might have been more, but one was spotted and recorded in Litchip Bay right here, a couple of miles away from us in Arne. And so hopefully we're going to get more. Oh, come on, it was just roughly the right place. There you go, like that.
Well, they did take a photograph of that bird. You know, here we are. Peter Corbyn took this photograph. He's not going to win any awards for the photograph, but I'm pretty jealous of Peter Corbyn, to be quite honest with you, because I haven't seen any of these waxwings yet. Now, are you likely to bump into them, and where should you look for them? Well, remember, I've said that they're basically berry-eating birds. So if you've got rowans with berries left on, or there are hedgerows with plenty of berries, but another top spot to look for them is in supermarket car parks. I know that sounds absurd, but I've seen them several times in supermarket car parks, and many other people have too, because they plant those ornamental trees which very often produce those berries and hang on to them through the winter. So if you're doing your shopping and you hear a noise, a quite sweet sound, and see some birds that look a bit like starlings flying over, stop and have a look. They could be waxwings. Having said that, is there any chance that we could actually attract waxwings to where we want them to be? There's a question for you.
Well, I think we could with apples. And in fact, years ago, we had someone show us exactly that.
Henry. Look at Henry. 2013. 2013, on Fair Isle in Shetland, we were sent this clip. The son of the person who was running the bird observatory went out with some apples. I'll never forget this. I was emerald green with envy. And look at that. Got some apples, and the waxwings were flocking in. And in some of the photographs he sent, so there were so many waxwings, he was almost being suffocated by them. And of course, that was a long time ago. Henry is now 22, and Henry, I hope you're out there somewhere still enjoying your waxwings.
If he's 22, that makes us feel really old, doesn't it? But anyway, we've been inspired by Henry because we do want to attract more waxwings. So with no expense spared, we came up with this idea to put some apples on a little tree there. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? That's what you pay your licence fee for. A little
like something out of Blue Peter in 1965.
Apples stuck to it, and we're hoping that in 4 days' time, before we finish, that is going to be covered in waxwing.
Nonsense, absolute nonsense.
You don't think it's going to work, do you?
No, I don't think it's going to work. No, I think it's just sort of too random, you know. I mean, I've got to say, you know, obviously sometimes birds watch other birds going to trees, but if we, you know...
No, but before you mock, let me show you. We have had birds come to that tree already.
What, at gunpoint?
No, not waxwings. But look, blue tits. Not just one. Oh, no, Chris. We had, well, a handful. I'd like to call it a small flock, but we had a handful of blue tits. And then from Scandinavia, not a waxwing, fieldfare.
Yeah, that's
Look
pretty
at
cool.
that.
Yeah.
So that gives me a great deal of hope, as does that beautiful blue sky in the background, which we have had for the last few days. So I do think that, you know, I'm thinking waxwings, I'm thinking all sorts of birds are going to be covering that tree by Friday.
As I was saying, you know, birds do watch other birds to see where they're going to forage. So there is an extremely slim chance that a waxwing might look down, see a fieldfare or blue tit aiming for our tree and follow it. I mean, you know, what do you know? We're very pleased that Iolo Williams is back with us here at Arne this year. Iolo, I've got to ask you a very simple question. What do you think the chances of waxwings landing on that ridiculous apple tree are?
Absolutely nil.
Oh, come on.
Zero, no, 0%.
Now, you might remember on Tuesday, we were really hoping to see some waxwings. Waxwings have been seen all over the UK, not many in Dorset. So we decided to make a sort of makeshift apple tree to try and attract them. Did we attract any? Well, let's take a look. We did attract quite a lot.
Look at them.
A few birds we attracted. Look, grey squirrel. What more do you want on your
I'm not
makeshift
surprised.
apple tree?
They love eating apples, don't they?
But also, as well as the grey squirrel, fieldfares came along. Oh, we're still on the grey squirrel, eating it, really enjoying
There we are, look.
the apples. But yeah, fieldfare came in. Now, but these are extremely territorial, aren't they, Chris? I mean, they're not going to let anything else come anywhere near that tree.
Look, fighting off another fieldfare here. They set up these winter territories, so they'll come to a bush and they'll basically just stake that claim for that bush and keep away any other large thrushes, missel thrushes, fieldfares, even blackbirds. So smaller birds they'll allow, things like the tits to come in, but they chase everything out. Winter territories.
So did you see what we did there? We actually decided to let that fieldfare have that tree, and we made another one with apples on.
For the waxwings.
I mean, I know it's our last show tomorrow, but you never know.
Let's move swiftly on to some quite exciting photographs.
Now, we set our 2 challenges at the beginning of the week, so I think we ought to wrap those up, shouldn't we? First of all, it's waxwings, and there's been a Waxwing Winter. Lots of people have been seeing waxwings all over the UK, but not many were seen here in Dorset. So we decided to set up a fake apple tree to try and attract them. What did we get on our fake apple tree? Well, we got lots of blue tits, we got a grey squirrel, certainly enjoying that extra sustenance, and we've got a field fair. We were quite excited about the field fair until we realised that it was very territorial and scaring all the other birds off. So we put another tree up. All the tits came back. Unfortunately, the field fair decided it was going to have the apples on that tree as well. So did we have any luck at all with the waxwing? I'm pleased to say, look at that. Look at that, Iolo.
Very wooden.
We had a waxwing.
Oh, no.
Oh, a very guilty culprit there. Determined to win the challenge.
I should have put money on it, should have put money on it. But listen, just down the road today, there was a waxwing. Paul Morton from Birds of Poole Harbour very kindly sent us this. He filmed it through his scope this afternoon, and this was within striking distance of our tree.
Oh, and look at it in that beautiful blue sky.
Stunning.
That's absolutely gorgeous. There's 8 of them, weren't there?
Well, there were 8. Oh, don't rub it in. Don't rub it in.
So keep your eyes out, because in Dorset you might see more arriving.